All right, guys, we're going to give a few minutes, let everybody kind of start joining here. Go ahead and chat in if you guys can hear me okay. All right, perfect. All right, so let's see here. Man, USD's had a tough run lately. Still got some good news coming out. I wouldn't say good news, just a lot of news happening still today. Some more news happening. JPY is looking pretty weak. USD is looking pretty strong. Zoom out to the 15-minute and see what happened here. Anybody get on 9 for 10 again today? Yeah. This went on a downward movement yesterday. We were on for some of that. This move down, this downward move right here. Caught this sell on the MT4. I don't know if anybody got in on the gold MT4, but that was a 150 pip move as well. So this has been moving back up pretty good. Let's see here for me, see if there's anything worth drawing up. Oops. All right, I'll do this later. I don't know if you guys have ever used this Renko. I use this to draw a lot of support and resistant lines. It gives you a lot more lines. I learned this one yesterday, but I'll go back and do that another time. It'll take me some time to do. We'll just stay quick here on the 15-minute. All right. Just gonna mark up, guys. So let's take a look at this. So we got 15-minute overbought, bottom report on the DMI. We're still pushing up. 5 minutes starting to push down on the DMI, as well as the stochastic RSIs on the lower half of the spectrum. 3 minute stochastic RSI pushing down, but the DMI is pushing up. And then 1 minute, so you guys know that's where I like to get my entries here. On the 1 minute is pushing down. All right, so we're pushing down on the 1 minute. We're right at the EMA right now. We're slightly below it on the 1 minute. I'm sorry, the EMA, the middle band. 3 minute, you have SAR dot around 380. I also have a line of support around 380. 5 minute, you're in the upper half of the Bollinger Band. You have some resistance here on the 15 minute around 430. Yeah, I don't know too much about the web slinger. I haven't really got into it. I've heard good things about it. This is coming down to 386. Let this rock for a second. It's got a lot of downward momentum. Let's see if it respects this level right now at 381. It's pushing through this downward trend. Hit the SAR dot around 377 on the 5 minute. Now it's pushing back up. All right, so the 3 minute probably wants to push this up. The 5 minute. So we could let this rock here for another minute. This might hover around this price point here for another minute. The reason I say that is the 5 minutes just moving into oversold territory, and I kind of want this candle to close. And then that would allow the 3 minute to continue pushing up and the 1 minute to really push up. So I think this could hover around here for about another minute to 2 minutes. I'd almost say let's wait till this 5 minute gets closer to closing. And I think it's going to respect this trend line or this old support line that it's kind of been pinging off of anyways, right around 385. Could just take a minute to really get some movement though. I wouldn't, since we're just hopping in, it's kind of still moving a little slow. I want to be a little patient here. Looks like we had some good movement here a couple minutes ago. So let's see, it's kind of just sitting here now at this price point, 383. At 384. Again, let's just give it a minute. All right, so now it's moving back up. It's moving a little faster than I thought it would. Let's see if we get a pullback. What I'm looking for, guys, is this 5 minute on the DMI to actually cross into oversold. It's kind of just starting to. I really wanted to get this candle within like the first, really get this candle to actually close. And I think that would allow the 3 minute to actually push up and the 1 minute to be really able to push up. So we're kind of hovering around that price point still a little bit. That's kind of what I'm looking for though right now. Yeah, good vibes, good vibes. So that's what I'm looking for. Maybe it's already made its move. Let's see if we get a pullback. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. Did respect that SAR dot right there on the 3 minute. The 15 minute. Fine. It looks like it's made its move up anyways at this point. So 15-minute coming up. If you guys have traded with me, you know I use this DMI report here on the bottom probably more so than anything. Um, you'll also see the DMI report on here. I only use this chart just because it's on the 1 minute. I don't have to flip between 1, 3, and 5. Over here, I'll use the simple scalper. Really like the EMA and the SAR dots in the middle band. Those are lines that I will use to take trades. And I use the pit pocket a little bit different than most. Let me let's see here. Clean my map. It's pushing up. The pit pocket, if you guys have heard me talk about it before. So what I look at is on these 15 minutes, you get certain lines of support and resistance. So you can see that this line just kicked out as the 15-minute just opened up, right? So this 15-minute just kicked out an extended line. We're going to have some support here at 430, right? So let's look at this candle. It wicked all the way on the 15-minute to 336. On the next candle, it didn't quite hit it, right? On this candle, this wicked all the way down to 360, wicked again to 360, right? So that's what I kind of use it as resistance on the pickpocket. And it'll work on the other side too for buys, for support. Back at 388, this is continuing to push down here. So let's see what happens. I haven't taken a trade yet. Did wick all the way up to 407. Three-minute and 5-minute have entered oversold territory on the DMI-Stochastic. So this is what I'm looking at. 5 minutes moved into oversold. 3 minutes moved into oversold. And our 1 minute is pushing down. So what I'm looking for is really this to kind of complete its path. You know, depending on how far hard this pushes down here in the next 30 seconds, it might happen at the close of this wick. And it may happen here at the end of this wick or this candle. We'll see. Still continuing to respect that SAR dot. But what I'm looking for is this to continue its path into oversold, and then we'll look for some buys. Oh, I'm in at 412. Reason I got in at 412, guys, that just went up there really quick. So this is a support line I have at 412, 413. So it's right back. It's pushed back up in there. If you want to re-enter, I think this is still going to push down here. It's an old support line that I think will serve as resistance. Hovering right around my entry point right now and just pushed above. So it's pushed above this old resistance line. Let's see what else we have that might give us some kind of indication of what's going on. Not a lot. A 15-minute wants to continue up. Looks like we're just a little early on that. It should continue down. Andre cleared. Yeah, USD news. USD is going to be a little tricky today. We do have news again, just like yesterday. We have some pretty just news constantly throughout the day today. So looks like we're just a little off on our timing there. See if we can get that pull back into the 390s. That'd be a good entry for a buy. Cleared 417. Andre cleared 415. Yeah, you guys got those better entries than I did. Now it's pushing back up there. Yeah, sometimes the leg works out in your favor. It's sometimes it works for you, sometimes it works against you. Cleared 413. Awesome. Yeah, it works for you. It'll work for you. It'll work against you. So we're at a new high. Let's see, 429 potentially somewhere in that area. 425. It pushed down. We should be careful with ourselves. Let's just remember that. But I kind of want to be aggressive here. We've got movement. Cleared 421. We've got a high up here at right around 430. And that's what I'm seeing right here, yeah, like 430. So that's kind of what I'm looking for a sell. I'd like to get, if we're going to do a buy, I'd like to get somewhere. We're not going to drop that far below. Maybe around the 400 area, if we can get that again. Pushes back enough. 424, 426. Three minutes closing in 20 seconds. 5 minutes just opened up, pushing up. 15 minutes going to be pushing this up. It's 428. Come on, do something. Push up just a little more. There we go. I took 433 on a sell. Again, sells are going to be a little bit riskier right now, guys, because this is an upward momentum, but I think there's some resistance right here around the 430s. Do have another line at 440. If it wants to push up there, I will re-enter. But let's see if this respects this and pushes down. The 3 minute just entered oversold. So let's see. Let's see how this market respects this. Are we a minute or two early, or if we're right on spot? Wyatt, 2 for 2. Awesome, man. Awesome. Cleared that. Not a bunch of movement right there, but it did respect it. That was definitely a, had to have a solid entry there. Hunter cleared 439. Let's see what happens here. 441. Andre cleared. All right, so pinged off that pretty good. So that's more of the movement I was looking for. When we entered right here at 433, that's the movement I was looking for, is right here. We cleared, but not by a lot. That's not how you like to clear in binary. You like to see this type of movement. We did clear. We'll call that $20 in profit, so we'll roll half that over into our next trade. Compounding strategy, guys. If you've traded with me, you know I compound our wins. If you're not familiar with that, let me know. I will go over it. But the idea is to compound your wins. Yesterday we went from, I always start trading with $25. And if we continue to win, yesterday I think we went 3 for 3 or 4 for 4. My last trade was, I went from trading $25 a trade to $80 a trade and grew my account because of compounding. Cleared 439. Andre clear, awesome. So it's kind of hovering up there. So let's see what happens. The 1 minute is looking to turn. 3 minutes closing. So we're within a minute of the 3 minute closing, which is oversold or overbought. I'm sorry. If we get another pushback up, I was about to say we could have just entered right there at 438. See if it pulls back. I think this has got to push down. I don't know if it'll pull back now. What I'm looking at, guys, is the 15 minute and the 5 minute are wanting to push this up, which is fine. But the 3 minute has really entered oversold, right? It entered oversold, overbought. within about a minute, it's opening up now, so it's going to level out. But what I'm saying is, about a minute ago, when there was about 30 seconds left in this candlestick, this had entered overbought with the 1 minute back here starting to push down. So that's what I was saying. This entry on this little wick up right here, 438. I was getting really picky and wanting another 440 type of touch, but that was the entry right there. Go ahead and chat in if that makes sense to you guys. Like that what I'm explaining right there, if that makes sense. That was the entry point that I was looking for. Now it's starting to pull back here a little bit as well. But if that was the entry point to actually enter. So it's pulled all the way back here. And again, if we can re-enter, there's the lag. Roll this over. You got a chance. I got a terrible lag. That's all right, though. That does happen. It took me a second to actually click that button. That was more of a chasing the market. That wasn't a disciplined trade. The movement had already happened. So let's see. This is now starting to push back up. Again, let's check this out. All right, so we have another line coming up at 65. We are at 50, which is a natural resistance line, right, guys? We talk about that. 50 and 100, that's traditional stock trading 101, natural resistance line at 150. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that's giving us an indication. It's been a pretty solid move up. $54 pip movement. So there is some resistance around that 50 mark. I wanted to see if it would touch this old resistance line I have at 64. Yeah, this has got a lot of upward momentum. There we go. Look at that. I talk about it almost every time we hop on, guys. This is why I don't clear my charts. I have markups on USD, JPY all the way back from November that I've never gotten rid of. And this is the reason why, is because old support and resistance, it's going to repeat itself. So hit that 64 level, right? Gives you some respect. Now it's at some point going to blow through this, but let's see what happens. Yep. Yeah. 15 minutes closing. 15 minutes going to close, and this is going to move pretty heavily into overbought. 5 minutes going to close, and that's going to move this into overbought. 3 minutes going to close, that's going to be an overbought. 1 minute's going to close and wanting to push this down a bit. That entry at 64. Right, and 64 entry. All right, 15 minutes opening up. Overbought on just about everything. Went back up there. Let's see if we get another touch of 64 here. Again, I'd be careful selling this, but indicators are telling us 15 wants to point down, 5 minutes overbought, 3 minute wants to push down, 1 minute's getting overbought again. I think you have some potential buys here in the 446 to 448 range. Again, not a bunch of confirmations, really just close of previous wicks and the SAR dot on the 1 minute. Again, not a bunch of confirmations there, but something nonetheless. Kind of right there at 463. There's a push up, 468. Oops. Still looking, guys. I'm not seeing a bunch right now. Just not enough indicators. I mean, we're seeing, again, 15-minute, 5-minute, 3-minute all overbought on the DMI right here. 1 minute wanting to push down. Here we go. Let's see if we can get down. Maybe 50. Maybe take something like 50 for a buy. Kind of right here at 55. Yeah, I was saying 450. I don't love trading off the SAR dots. It is an indicator. It's just not a strong one. Like I don't have. So like for example, guys, like okay, 50 rate is a psychological number, which it just hit for literally 0.2 seconds, and all of the other indicators are wanting to push this down. And then we have a SAR dot somewhere around 53, which it probably just flipped. Yeah, it did. So that's why I don't like the SAR dot that much. But this 1 minute's probably going to close into oversold. 43, 41. Again, we have indicators wanting to push this down. Now it's right here back at like 440. This could be an entry point right around 443. This kind of movement is not my favorite. I'd be lying to you if I said I love this movement. If you guys recall yesterday's movement, right, like that's what I'm looking for. Like I'm looking for some more extreme movement. This is moving, but it's yeah. I mean, I'm a ping pong player. Like I like ping pong. I like what I like. It just is what it is. So, okay. Middle band on the 1 minute, that could be something, plus the SAR down on the 3 minute, plus oversold on the 1 minute. I'll take that at 37. Let's see what happens. Let's just see. I'm just taking this more as an experiment, guys, to see if we get some respect here. If this market's gonna, well, let's see what happens. Like if this market's gonna do what I think it does, or if I'm just completely off. Might have got in a little early. Could roll this. I'm not going to. Now I might. Could ping off this trend line is what it could do. It could be a better entry right there. So yeah, it's pushed all the way down. 3 minutes pushing down. So it is respecting that. It is respecting the DMI, saying that this is going to push down. It did lose a bar. It's right here somewhere on this trend line. It's bottomed out on some of these indicators. I was about to say bottomed out on the indicators. On the trend line. All right, so this is why it pays to be picky on your entries, right? So like, let's look at this. Let's reevaluate this, right? Push through the middle band, push through the SAR dot, cause it to flip. Got close to the SAR dot on the 5 minute, nothing really on the 15 minute. But you came down, you were oversold. If you saw that for a second, you were bottomed out on the DMI and you were bottomed out on the stochastic RSI, and you hit the trend line. That's 3 indicators, right? That's 3 indicators. What happens when you get 3 indicators? That's the movement you're looking for. So clear 27. Yeah, that's a good entry if you guys got in there. So like, does that make sense? So we had the stochastic RSI. This was still pushing down. The stochastic was pushing down. The stochastic RSI, I know everybody talks about the RSI. I prefer the stochastic RSI. We had the upward trend line and the downward trend line matched up right here. And we had the DMI flattened out on a trend line and literally on binaries. And I don't know, using different brokers, if you guys saw this line was flattened. It was flattened right there. And as I said it, boom, it went up. And that's the type of, that's the type of indicator that we want. So went up, pinged off this, and continued down, or continued back up. So it's pretty good. Now it's back up at a previous high, support line area. What's it gonna do? Kind of almost looks like a flag pattern, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm literally looking at the images you sent me. I was like, wait a minute, this is looking a little familiar. This is looking like an MT4 setup. I know I'm on the 1 minute, but same idea. Yeah, it's literally is a cheat sheet. So okay, here we go again, right? Went up, wicked, and touched that old support line. I had at what I can't quite tell what that is, like 482, 481, something like that. 481. You can't make this up, guys. 482, it touched. Got the hour closing in 5 minutes. See if 3 minute wants to push this up. 5 minutes moving into oversold, which means this is probably going to get a big push up after the hour. 1 minute is still wanting to push this down. So those were the two entries right here. Here's the one entry. Here's the two entries. I understand that we waited almost 30 to 40 minutes for those two entries, guys. But if you're trading the right percentages, what happens if he goes 2 for 2? You're making your 5%, your 5% for the day, or 4. You're making 4% for this morning session, right? Hop on later tonight and finish out the day. But you can wait 30 to 40 minutes. Boom, perfect setup, and that's when binary is easy. I know we cleared some trades earlier, but they were a little tight. Those aren't necessarily the best trades that I'd like to see. We got to probably stay a little more disciplined than that. But again, the setups were here. Old resistance, right? Wicked off of it, came down. Spent about a minute or so above it, came down, hit off the trend line, popped back up, blew through previous resistance up to a new line, wicked off of it, came right back down. So hope you guys have learned something today. We got the hour coming up. Let's see if we have anything here. It's not going down. Just wanted to go down maybe. Get into another buy if you want to get back into those 450s. Looks like it's already made its move. All right, so where are we at? 489. Yeah, 1 minute, or the hour's closing. Do you have another line right here at 495 plus natural resistance being close to 100? Still respecting that 482. Spent about what is that, 20 seconds? 30 seconds above 482. And then came right back down. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off. I hope you guys learned something. Don't usually trade it as much on Thursdays. I actually might hop back on. I don't know if I'll do a Zoom, but I'll get some trades in. We only made like 2 trades, went 1 for 2. So not a lot going on. But hopefully you guys learned something. There is opportunities here to be made. Clearly playing off the trend lines here. There are a lot of opportunities to be made. So play off the trend lines, both on the buys and the sells, and should be easy. Should be able to clear some trades. So hit me up if you guys have questions. I hope you learned something out of Good Morning Friday. Usually not. I got family coming to town tonight. Got a wedding to go to this weekend, but you never know. Remember, old line right here at 464. It did play off the 60s here before, so I'd maybe look at that. If I was going to look at a buy, potentially I would wait till the hour closes though. So, all right, guys, have a good weekend. If I do hop on any more sessions, I'll obviously shout out on Telegram.